It's everywhere. The one-person business, aka the personal brand business, is glorified all over social media. You know, they made us feel like we can access a magic wand, that we can create with it our own world, our own fairy tale, and be the main character of it. You just being yourself, documenting yourself, your journey, uploading it to social media, and poof, all around the world, you have fans, people who adore you, who are watching you, and are ready to buy whatever you're gonna sell. Just like they're under a magic spell, under your spell. Or perhaps you are the one who are under a spell? Because this dream of a personal brand business seems so shiny and sparkling, but I have to tell you, beware. Because not all what's shiny is gold. It can also be a fire that can burn you down if you don't know how to control it. So in this video, I want you to see not only the good side of this business model, but also the bad one. And believe me, there is. But also in the second part of the video, I will show you how you can manage this dark side and to your advantage, so that you can not only build a successful but long-lasting business. So keep watching if you want to build your own magical world. It's my theory and I do not have any background in business. Actually, I have in psychology, but not in business. So this is my theory, my opinion, and my perspective. And I truly believe that perspective is more valuable than just dry knowledge, you know, because a perspective gives the knowledge meaning and it makes the knowledge more practical. So yeah, what am I going to sell? This is the first crack in this shiny dream of personal brand. Because here's the thing, there's two types of creators. They are the one is the business owners, people who already have a product or service. They use social media to market their existing business. And the second type is the creators, people who just love making content. They want to share their knowledge, story, or creativity. Now, you probably will agree with me that most creators and most people who are watching this video right now are probably, you know, entering into group 2. People who don't have an existing business and just want to share their knowledge and love making videos. But there's two problems with this group. Because the business owners, group 1, the business is the product. In fact, they started in the first place because they found a need, a demand. So, you know, they started a business because they found something, a product that people want, a product that has a demand for. But creators, group 2, have no visible need or demand behind the business. They started because they like to make videos and they want freedom and they want a lifestyle. So group 2 doesn't really have a need behind the business because the business is themselves, or maybe they don't understand what the need is. Let's go with the first option for a second. The option that says that they don't have a need behind the product. After all, they need something to sell. They are not stupid. They know that in order to make money, you have to sell something. So they are left with two options. First option, they sell something that has a need but isn't related to their craft. The how-to. For example, how to become YouTubers, how to become coaches. You often see this with authors or artists whose product is how to make money as an artist, but actually it's how to be a YouTuber because they don't make a living from their art or books. They make a living from how to succeed on YouTube. In my opinion, this is a scam. You know, I don't like it when people sell something that has more to do with marketing and how to brand yourself and how to market yourself and how to make videos, and not about their craft, because they're not, you know, they're not doing money from the art itself. They're making money from other things. And yeah, you can do a course about it, I guess, and sell it, but you have to be honest in front of your audience and say, look, I teach you a course on how to be a YouTuber. And that's what it takes as an artist to make a living, to be a YouTuber. So my course is about how to be a YouTuber. And yeah, so I mean, the least thing you can do is to be upfront about this stuff. But let's say that you want to avoid this sell how-tos. What do? That leads us to the second option, which is selling merchandise. What you have to take into account is that selling merch is very much dependent on popularity, because who would want to buy a merch if you're not a fan of someone? Like celebrities. So it takes a lot of popularity, And popularity needs, consistent energy in order to stay relevant. This fact makes them a very specific type of business, a type I call a celebrity business, but a professional term is a lifestyle business. And it does exactly that. It provides the freedom to live your dream lifestyle, which is, for a lot of people, making money doing what you love, but there is also a cost that many don't take into account. Because after all, the reality is more complicated than doing what you love, especially when doing what you love becomes your job and you have to always do it, and then you're a business, so you have to step out of what you love and the art itself, and you have to, to care about monetization tools and marketing, and then you're exhausted, honestly. Think about celebrities who always need some scandal in the headlines to keep people engaged with them, and think about reality TV stars. They have to participate in another reality show and another reality show, because after one season they get replaced by the new participants and no one remembers them, so they have to always participate in another one and another one in order to stay relevant. You're stuck in the fast fashion loop where new content is like cheap clothes, produced quickly, consumed quickly, and forgotten quickly. The result? Burnout. YouTubers quit, creators get exhausted, and it's because they're trapped in a business model that didn't fully understand. They weren't ready for this infinite chase. They wanted freedom from the hassle. Also, they weren't ready for this fear that if they turned the leg off the gas, it would be the end. They wanted passive income. So now let's look at some of the disadvantages of a lifestyle business, according to ChatGPT. 1. Unstable income. 2. Difficulty in business growth. Often involves more working hours or additional investment, which may compromise the lifestyle the entrepreneur is trying to maintain. Self-management. A lifestyle business entrepreneur has to manage every aspect of the business. There's 5 things and 5 different skills that you have to learn. Sometimes steam you like in the same time. Dependence on personal passion. This is a huge one. If the passion that originally fueled the business diminishes or shifts, the business may lose the vitality. Additionally, there is a risk of burnout when work that was once a hobby turns into an obligation. And it's really big, the thing that, we as humans are changing a lot. I can tell you about myself. I think like every 3 to 4 years, I have a major shift in my identity, in my personalities, in my goals. So, and I don't know if you noticed it, but people of group 2, the group who love to share and love to create videos, they often create videos about their goal in life right now, about the one thing that they are interested in, But if we are always changing, and in a couple of the years you can find yourself maybe a parent with children, and maybe then what will interest you is more of family content and family tips, or maybe how to educate your children and stuff like that. So you can see that it's really problematic when you're dependent on personal passion. Another one is difficulty in searching funding. Lifestyle businesses may struggle to raise investments or loans, as their goal is not always to maximize profitability, but to fit a certain lifestyle which is less appealing to investors or banks. So many people will say this to you, and I agree. I mean, I first heard it from Iman Gaji. I will link his YouTube channel. I will try to link it down below, but I'm sure you know who he is. And basically he said that if you are in the info space, in other words, in the creator space, if you have a business around a personal brand, basically, you need to forget about selling your business. And it's true, because why would anybody would want to, to buy a business that the whole existing of the business is you, yourself, your personalities, you are the brand, you are the business. So you can't sell it. It's very hard to sell it and to secure fundings and to try to find investors. So, an important disclaimer, there are all sorts of other business types like startups and freelancers, so I recommend learning about each of them before you start a business, and not just picking according to the one you hear most about and assuming that the only one there is. I don't want you to assume that personal brand is, or the one-person business is the only business out there, because it's not. And you have to remember that you don't know about business a lot. So you need to think critically about this stuff and to know all the models before you choose one and not choose only the popular one just because it's all over the internet and it makes you think that there's the only way how to make millions or how to be a successful business owner, and it's not true. I think that when people will know the disadvantages and the advantages of any business, that's how you can make, a smart choice, basically. And I don't want you to fall to this trap of of financial freedom and passive income because everything that is worthwhile in life requires effort and time. That's the truth. So now that you understand the downside of this business, so what can you do? Once, to avoid the burnout, and second, to avoid becoming a fraud. So remember that earlier we said that behind the lifestyle business, group two, there's no need behind the business. There's no demand, unlike group one. What if there is? What if there is a need and it's just invisible? What if I told you that there's a need behind this and, you know, in the near future, I bet everyone will already know this and will try to utilize it. And I can't believe I'm telling you this right now because I want to utilize it myself, but I can't yet because, I have no followers yet. But I'm giving this to you. It's not about selling knowledge. It's not about pumping out merch. The secret need is quality entertainment. Let me explain. So, in order to explain it better, let's split it into two ingredients: entertainment and quality. So, let's start with entertainment. What is entertainment and why is there a need for it? Inspiration, motivation, connection. All of these are considered entertainment, and all of these are emotions. You know, the reason why people are watching videos in the first place is because they want to feel good. And this is how they watch How to Get Rich, even though they know already and they read it already and heard it a couple of times. They watch it more and more because they want to feel good, to feel the motivation, the inspiration. And you have to understand it, that they watch for entertainment, not knowledge. Knowledge is not a rare thing anymore, especially in the age of AI. And even before that, honestly, there's Google. People don't watch videos in order to get smart and to gain knowledge. Otherwise, they would read a book or take a course or something. They won't listen to a YouTube video. So yeah, even when it comes to educational content, and especially when it comes to educational content, people still watch for entertainment. And that's why this need is hiding in plain sight. But no one notices it. Because one, as we said, it disguises itself as another need like knowledge, and two, people take it for granted and give it away for free, underestimating just how much demand there is for it, how much people crave entertainment, and how willingly they are to pay for it as long as it's high quality. And that leads us to the second ingredient: quality. We are at the peak of the fast fashion phenomena. You can see music albums drop once half a year, and you have millions of YouTube videos, and you have new collections of clothes. I don't know how to say this word. I always hated this one. Okay, so you know what I mean. We are in a fast fashion loop. And the sad thing is that all this quantity, it's all junk. Even you're on YouTube, the quality, zero. It's so hard to find nowadays a song that you that doesn't make you tired of in a week. I can listen to a song nowadays and it's addictive, yeah, but it lasts for a week and then I can't hear it anymore. So how did we get here? And why quality entertainment is the future? Let me introduce you to a rule in sociology. We always swing like a pendulum between two extremes to reach balance. We do it as a society. And guess what? The entertainment industry has also swung from one extreme to another. And to understand this, let's go back in time to old Hollywood. Back then, what gave you status as a celebrity was your talent. That was the heart of publicity. Celebrities were carefully crafted to appear godlike, flawless, to be adored as if they are chosen and their talent was innate. Think of a superhero. A superhero is admired because his powers, in other words, talent. This perception made the quality of all the entertainment and art very high because they were focusing on the talent. Fast forward to today, we are living in a time that celebrates authenticity. We can see it in the rise of reality shows where you connect to someone's personality. Take the Kardashian, who rose to fame by just being themselves. That's why their mom always talks about not editing any part of the show, even when she had the choice. It's also like the superhero effect, but from another angle, the opposite angle actually, because you know how we love the underdog that is discovering his superpowers, like Peter Parker, for example. It's exactly like that, and we love it more. It makes us love it more than if it was a perfect guy who had it all, had the girls and the body and the looks, and then he were discovering his power. So we love this relatability, you know. And even celebrities today understanding the power of authenticity, and they try to use also social media and to put little glimpses of their lives and photos on Instagram and things like that, because they understand that that the reality has changed and people value authenticity. And it's not like in the past where people were more focused on the talent. Now people don't value talent as much as they used to in the past. So now you can see that this is a completely shift from one extreme to another, from old Hollywood to now. But here's something interesting. Now we are at an authenticity peak. The authenticity, we reached the peak of it. So what comes next? According to the sociology rule, when you go from one extreme to the other, then you become to the middle, to balance. On one hand, anyone can become a mini celebrity thanks to social media, whose biggest power is relatability, authenticity, and vulnerability. These platforms foster loyal fans who care about you beyond what you say or do. On the other hand, this creates fierce competition. It mirrors the fast fashion trend because there are no set standards yet, and it's accessible to everyone, creating an overflow of content with little quality. This competition raises the quality bar. So in order to stand out in the current saturated market, especially here on YouTube, you must make your quality stand out. People crave authenticity, but also they crave the quality that is so missing right now. So that's why quality entertainment is the new golden opportunity right now, because you have the quality part and the entertainment is the authenticity part. In other words, a powerful product that isn't just you. In the case of a personal brand, that's your talent, quality, and an engaging story, a character interesting enough to follow, who you are and your personality, which is entertainment. Also, this concept can be demonstrated through the music industry. So there are three types of singers. So let's take Lana Del Rey, which I very like, Sabrina Carpenter, which I'm not liking so much, and Taylor Swift, which I very, very like. So, you have Lana Del Rey, who represents quality, right? Her music is really other league, but in terms of entertainment, she lacks it because she's very private. She seems that she doesn't bother or cares about Grammys or, all the fame. So she has very strong in the extreme of quality. Sabrina is very much in the extreme of entertainment because, she really made a glow up in her brand. She rebranded herself and, people not so much like her music, but they are like who she is and what she represents through the visuals, her clothes, her brand, what she says, and all this jazz. And Taylor Swift, for my opinion, balance quality but also entertainment. Because Taylor Swift created the effect of social media through her music. She wrote her songs like a personal diary, enhancing the sense of authenticity and connection with listeners. However, she maintained balance and didn't neglect the music and the art itself. Her songs are really, really good. She's a genius at writing music. Taylor continues to keep the artistic creation at the center, resisting the trend of relying solely on authenticity to succeed. So you're probably asking yourself, what can I do with all of this information? So here's where the future is heading. YouTube will become more like Netflix, niche, specific, and high quality. Creators who understand this shift will treat their content as a product in itself. Think of your videos as a mini-series rather than throwaway content. Release fewer but higher quality episodes. Create membership sites that feel like exclusive clubs, not charity pages. If you are the product, then sell yourself literally. I recommend going all in. Actually, really be your business. Just sell yourself. You don't have to, make it more complicated by trying to sell merchandise or courses, because if the need is quality entertainment around your business, so selling your own videos yourself, this is going to answer that need and satisfy people. So start selling your content, your videos, treating it as the product instead of constantly putting out a lot of new content at a high frequency. Focus on quality. Treat it more like a series that is released once in a while. Some can be bought and those will be the product. I believe YouTube is the new Netflix, but niche and specific. It will be like having many Netflix-like platforms for specific genres. Micro Netflix. That's also why I believe membership sites are the best product as long as they're treated like a premium experience, not like a charity event as many lifestyle YouTubers treat them, unfortunately. Or like a school as many info YouTubers treat them, unfortunately as well. It should be a combination of exclusive, club, and Netflix. Remember, you don't always need to reinvent yourself, you just need to create something that is worth waiting for. So in the next episode of the A New Era of Fame series, we will explore a full step-by-step guide on how you can actually turn yourself and your channel to a micro Netflix. And the best news is you don't have to wait for it. It's out now in 1, 2, 3.